Ooh. Good morning, everybody. Coming at you live from the facility here today. Get started in just a minute. There we go. A little bit of technical issues here, but ready to get going. Nice to be back in a more professional movement scenario. Pretty cool. We're going to start on our butt today. Okay. Just going to be lying here. We're all seated actually on our butt. Going to go feet wide to start out. Okay. Just wider than the hips if we can. Finding a position that works for you if needed. Again, through all these movements, if you're having any pain or any discomfort, don't feel like you have to push into pain. You know, there shouldn't be anything painful. Sometimes a little bit sticky or maybe a little bit tight, but overall, I want to keep it pain-free. So from here, I'm just going to be nice and long with the chest. If we need to, if the hips are pinching, we can be out on our elbows, lying back a little bit further. Otherwise, we're just going to start with some hip rotations here. Okay. So noticing as I'm driving my knee outward and inward, I'm kind of pressing towards the ground. So it's not just a matter of going back and forth, but rather driving that leg through the air, pressing the knee into the ground, open up the hip a little bit here. Nice, easy breathing. And take our time, just checking in with our hips. This is a good one to get some blood flowing in the hips, but also great to just check in and see where we're at today. A lot of different goals we can get out of this. Maybe this is a warm up for another workout. We'll switch sides here. Maybe this is a warm up for another workout you're going to do after this, or maybe just prepping your body for whatever movement might come your way today. And I like this as a check-in, but also start to say hello to the hips. Get some blood flow, get your nervous system active in this area. There we go, taking your time. Really kind of pressing in, feeling your legs getting active through this range of motion. There we go. This is a good time too for you to address any asymmetries that you may be feeling. If you feel like one side needs a lot more work, well, it's a good time to address that. Feel free to take a couple more reps onto one side if you need. So with a lot of these exercises, gives you those options. Last one here. Nice. Nice. Okay. From here, we're gonna lie on our back, knees bent so our feet are flat on the ground here. Just gonna take some nice breaths into your belly. So it helps to place a hand on your belly if you can't feel this area expanding on its own, or even maybe pressing into the side of your rib cage if you're a little more comfortable with this. Trying to keep the neck and shoulders relatively relaxed, expanding through the belly and the lower rib cage. Just starting to get in tune with our breath here. Breath has a lot of influence over our nervous system, but also it's important that we can keep our core active while we breathe. So we're starting out with just a simple awareness drill, getting the best area for our breath active. So as we inhale again, feeling the belly expand, the rib cage expand, exhale, let it relax. Not taking as deep a breath as we possibly can, but starting to deepen this breath a little bit over the next couple of reps. Again, your hands are great to give you feedback to start to bring awareness to the area that we want to expand or to use through our inhale. There we go. As we're ready, if you want to increase the difficulty a little bit, we're going to raise the feet off the ground. Knees stay just past the hips. Okay, want to add a little bit of engagement with the core, yet still breathing through the same means as what we just practiced. You're still working on just getting this area to expand with our inhale. That's okay. Maybe you keep the feet down for a little bit less challenge. As we're here now, tuning into your low back, making sure that we're not overarched, also making sure that we're not completely flat to the ground. Should be maybe half an inch to an inch from the ground of space under your low back here. Just tuning into our breath, getting it active while forcing our core to still work. Couple more breaths here. You can take breaks as you need. You got to touch down in between. That's totally okay. Otherwise, we'll take one more breath here. Let it relax. Awesome. From here, I'm just gonna let the knees fall to one side. Upper back, shoulders stay on the ground. Just gonna do some rotations for our spine, maybe getting a little bit of a hip stretch. But just nice and easy, letting the hips fall side to side here. Taking your time, maybe letting the breath go. Good exhale as you stretch, kind of settle in a little bit deeper. Not holding the stretch too long though, mostly keeping active here. We'll add a reach now. So if we're bringing the knees to the right, left arm is gonna reach, maybe even reaches up a little bit, starting to lengthen this whole line here from our hip to our shoulder. As they come back to the center and go the other way, reach in that other arm. Again, not overdoing it, no pain in the low back, not forcing the knees to the ground, but seeing just where they fall to get a little bit of a mobility opener here. A couple more each way. Maybe now we sync our breath up with it. Adding an inhale as we pull the legs back to the center. Exhale up and fall to the ground. Arm reaches away from us. And inhale back to the center. Exhale, kind of falling into that stretch. Falling into our end range. We'll do one more each way. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, reaching, last stretch here. There we go. Alrighty, from here, we're gonna stay on our back. Just gonna change angle for you to see a little better. You're gonna go hip cars. So we're gonna get to a couple different cars today. Basically, it's a big joint circle. Wanna find your outer range of motion. Again, no pain, but wanna start to increase your max range of motion, or really just groove that and get some familiarity there. So we're gonna start out, gonna anchor our left leg here. Okay, so left leg is anchored. From here, gonna bring our right knee up towards our chest as high as we can. Throughout the exercise now, I want to keep your low back flat to the ground. Now from here, we're gonna bring the knee outward as far as we can before we notice our hip starts to roll off the ground. So again, left leg stays put, kind of glued into the ground. The glute might even be active on that left side. From here, we're gonna visualize like we have a crayon coming off of your knee. Okay, we're gonna draw a big circle with this knee now. So slowly going through this range of motion. Once we get down to the ground, we're gonna point the toes across the body. Visualize like you're scraping the heel up the outside of your left leg now. Knee comes up to the chest as far as we can. Once we get to that end, we're gonna start to bring that knee outward and drawing through this big circle. Gravity popping in the hips, try to slow it down. Maybe we go a little bit smaller for the first couple. And when we get to the bottom, rolling that whole leg. The toes, the knee should be pointing across your body. Shin or a heel scrapes up the outside of your shin. Drawing through a big circle here. If you know you have a lot of mobility or flexibility, maybe we're not fighting for a bigger circle, but rather seeing if we can control this a little bit more. Maybe slowing down a little bit, or maybe even visualizing like we're moving through quicksand with this. Okay, you can start to give yourself some tension to get muscles a little bit more active. You know, a couple more in this direction here. Again, low back stays flat to the ground. Kind of upper sacrum should be flat to the ground. Just going through our outer range of motion here, under control. Do one more that same direction. There we go. And think about a crayon coming off of your knee, seeing how big of a circle can we draw. From here, we're gonna reverse directions now. So same idea applies, back stays flat. Now the heel is gonna scrape down the outside of your left shin. Again, drawing a big circle if you get a crayon off of your knee. If you need to look at the screen, you can, but try to let your head stay back to the ground. There we go. Get a couple more reps here. This is super important to keep range of motion through our hips. So many people nowadays get hip issues, get low back issues, or need surgeries. Obviously, not saying those are completely avoidable, but if we don't spend time, like thinking about this as brushing and flossing for your joints, if we don't address some things and be proactive with our joint health, well, kind of we're leaving our future a lot less certain as far as what's going to happen to our joints. Last rep here, we'll finish out on this side, kind of finishing at the top, and we'll set that leg down. So my right leg's going to anchor, left leg is moving. So again, we'll start left leg up to your chest, keep that right leg glued down, knee starts to swing outward towards the ground as far as we can control. From here, you draw that big circle, crank coming off of your left knee. As we roll across, toes point across the body, knee points across the body, heel starts to scrape up the outside of your right leg. At the top, pulling as high as we can, and then letting that knee outward. Again, just coming through this range of motion, finding your outer range, no pain here, but starting to groove the biggest range of motion that you can control pain-free. Again, as you get a little bit more comfortable with the motion here, you can start to add quicksand, thinking like the air is heavy, you're having to push through it. What's really cool is your muscles, your tissues don't really know if there's a weight or an exercise band involved. They're just responding to force. So by giving yourself some self-imposed resistance, you start to get more tissues active. You can start to get to a strength training level. Got a couple more on this side, and scraping that heel up the outside of your leg. Low back stays flat to the ground, or at least it's not rocking side to side. Hips stay flat. Rolling through this hip joint here. One more circle. One more car here. Up. Out. Back stays flat. There we go. Last rep here, we'll finish at the top. And then we'll reverse here. So reverse, now the knee's gonna start by pointing across your body. You're gonna scrape the heel down the outside of your right leg now. Getting to the ground, leg rotates out. Again, drawing that big circle. If you get a crank coming off of your left knee, you should be painting a big circle here. Here we go. Keep breathing here. And keeping that core a little bit active. See if we can breathe and drive this leg through quicksand while we're moving here. This is a pretty good set. If your hips are getting cranky at all with you, maybe you take a break for a couple seconds and hop back in. And really feeling that upper leg rotate inward and outward as that knee points, from left to right here. So now that whole leg should be rotated inward as we scrape the heel down the outside of your right leg. Got one more rep here. Keep breathing. Last rep. We'll finish down towards the bottom. Feet together. There we go. Good work. Now from here, you're gonna roll over onto your belly. Okay. I want to take our time, starting to feel our upper back muscles get active with this one. So super important as we come here that we don't just arch our back off the ground and get the low back involved. If your low back is feeling it on this next one, slow down, regress a little bit, and come back to the cues here. We're gonna start by reaching the hands out in front of you. Okay, want to start to lengthen the spine a little bit. Obviously, look at the screen as you need, but once you get ready, we'll tuck the chin and nose straight away from the ground. From here, fingertips press into the ground and the elbows and wrists lift off the ground. We're in a little bit of a shrug, but making sure, obviously, no neck pain here. Again, eyes are looking straight at the ground. Just gonna take some deep breaths in and try to expand that upper back and the very upper chest away from the ground here. Another good position to work on deep breathing, kind of getting a different part of our spine active with this. Again, we're not trying to just arch the back off the ground or arch the chest off the ground. Rather, pull that chin, pull that neck straight away from the ground. Wrists are lifted high off the ground. We should start to feel our mid-back getting active. If you're not, really focus on exhaling fully. Inhale, maybe building a little bit more height, maybe getting those hands a little bit wider, a little bit longer. Spine a little bit longer. Exhale, keep that height if we can. Really going for a decompression effect on our spine now. Breathing in, creating space in that upper back and our rib cage. Kind of building on that breathing exercise we started with. Still expanding through the rib cage, expanding maybe through the mid back and the sides of our rib cage a little bit higher now. Creating a lot of space in our upper back, in our neck, and in our shoulders here. Let's walk the hands a little bit wider now. Okay, so hands start to creep out, just slowly walking, finding a position that works for you. Some people like to go a little wider, some people would rather reach long. See what feels good, but all the while maintaining that decompression effect through the spine. Couple more deep breaths here. Again, if your low back is feeling it, don't arch so much. Don't come away from the ground so much. Couple more breaths here. Let's go one more deep breath. Exhale. Relax here. Good work. Okay, we're gonna come up onto your knees. You can do this standing as well if the knees are bothersome being on them. Otherwise, I'm gonna show you from the knees. So from here, we're gonna go through shoulder blade cars or scapula cars. So same idea at the hip cars, we're trying to find our outer range of motion. Okay, if you wanna add a little bit more challenge, we can go arms out, just getting a little more tension in the shoulders. Otherwise, you can start arms by your sides. Either way though, what we're gonna do is roll our shoulders. So you think about our shoulders can come forward, they can come up, they can come back, and they can come down. So notice my hands stayed relative to my shoulder the whole time there. That's the goal here, okay? So shoulder blades start to drive forward, shoulder blades then come up, 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 squeeze back under control, nice and easy squeezing back, and then letting them lower down here. There we go. Settling in, we can do a couple more reps that direction. So drive the fist forward, coming up. Again, slowing this motion down so we hit this outer range of motion here. Squeezing back, making sure we're not arching the low back as we bring those arms back. Okay, torso stays steady. Arms start to lower the ground. There we go. Last rep here, this direction. So the fists come forward. Okay, you can see, driving forward, up, back, and slowly coming back down into our back pockets here. Okay, let's come forward and pause for a second. So now we should be at the forward and down position. If we're not, find that position. Okay, we're gonna switch directions here. So again, starting at the forward and lower position. From here, we're slowly gonna pull the arms back. Again, avoiding arching the low back, but really important that we can control this without shrugging. So really take your time, squeeze the shoulders back and down, and then we start to elevate, then drive forward again. Again, we're going the reverse direction of what we started with. So forward, 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 and then coming down. Really take your time here now. Let's slow this motion. If your shoulders are getting too tired, you can bring arms by your sides, but keeping that motion going. So coming back, up, forward, down. Again, as we come back now, really making sure we're avoiding that shrug. Can we pull those shoulder blades straight back? Elbows don't need to bend. Then we come up, forward, down. Okay, we got one more rep here. Shoulder blades coming back, squeezing back, 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 back. Coming up, and forward, drive the fist forward, down. Shake it out a little bit. Gonna come shoulder cars now. So obviously the shoulder we oftentimes think of as one joint, but it's really two joints. So we have the shoulder blades that do this, so we just practiced. Then we also have the glenohumeral joint that does this. So we're gonna go one arm at a time now on this, okay? Gonna make a fist. Again, we can start to pretend like we're moving through quicksand, getting a little bit more muscle activity here, okay? Again, we can stand or on our knees, wherever we're at, up to you, okay? Again, we got a fist, got a little bit of tension through this arm now. I'm gonna brace my core so I make sure I'm not rotating or arching too much through the rest of my body. Again, just trying to isolate the shoulder joint. So from here, a couple different variations. We're gonna start by rotating the thumb inward. So thumb rotates all the way inward and might even point behind us. From here, gonna move as far as we can until we hit that wall. So once you hit where you can't really go anymore, we're gonna rotate the arm out. So the thumb starts to rotate out away from us. Okay, you can see the thumb here. Eventually it's gonna point all the way behind us. We're gonna start to come through this shoulder range of motion. And taking your time here, drawing as big of a circle as we can. If you had a paintbrush in your hand, thinking how big of a circle can we draw here? And spine is tall, core is a little bit active. Hand kind of check you out here. At the top here, gonna rotate that pinky across the body. Biceps scrapes across your cheek. Again, drawing as big of a circle as we can through this shoulder joint. And no pain here, but trying to open up some space. Once we get to the bottom, we're gonna rotate that thumb all the way inward, coming straight back till we hit the wall. Once we hit a wall or where we feel like we can't go anymore, we're slowly gonna start to open that thumb out. Thumb rolls outward, whole arm rolls outward, reaching back behind you through a big circle. Again, avoiding the turn of the torso or arching your low back, keeping that core a little bit active. Keep breathing here, slowly getting up to the top. At the top, pinky's gonna start to rotate across the body, biceps scrapes across your cheek. Rotating across through as big of a circle as we can. Okay, we're gonna reverse it now. So from here, the pinky is pointed inwards. So pinky should be about touching your thigh. We're slowly gonna reach the pinky across the body. Arm follows. Under control, again, giving yourself a little bit of quicksand if we can. Bicep scrapes across the ear at the top. Pinky's gonna start to roll outward. Palm faces forward, then keep rotating. As like we're dumping out a glass of water here as we reach back behind. Again, keeping your torso steady. I like to place a hand on my abdomen to make sure I'm not rotating here. Okay, one more rep this direction. So pinky faces inward, palm is facing forward, reaching across the body. You got tension in this arm. So reach up, bicep scrapes across your cheek. At the top, you're gonna start to, actually we're dumping out a glass of water, dumping out a can here. Again, reaching back behind you, not arching the low back, seeing how far can I reach back using just this shoulder joint. Awesome, finish out that rep you're on, shake it out, and we'll come to the other side. Okay, and from here, you're gonna start out with the thumb rotating inward. Okay, so again, thumb rotates in and even maybe back if we have that range of motion. We're gonna start reaching the arm back towards the wall behind us. Once we hit that point where we can't really go anymore, we're gonna open the arm up. So thumb starts to point outward now. Whole arm rolls outward as we reach back behind. Again, keeping torso steady. Just going through as big of a shoulder joint as we can under control. There we go. The top, pinky's gonna roll across the body. Bicep scrapes across your cheek here. There we go. Good work. Okay, can one more rep just like that. So you're gonna start, we're gonna roll the thumb inward. Thumb comes back behind us. Once we hit that wall, gonna slowly rotate the arm outward, drawing through a big circle here. Under control, reaching that arm back behind you. Big circle here. Maybe you tighten the belly a little bit, maybe you tighten the glutes. Pinky rotates across at the top, reaching across your body now. It helps maybe tighten here, tighten the glutes a little bit, gets your body a little bit more steady. From here, you're gonna reverse direction now. So pinky is pointed towards your hip, maybe touching your thigh. You're gonna reach the pinky across the body. And really fighting that urge to rotate, just going through your biggest shoulder range motion under control here. The top, thumb's gonna roll in and then visualize like we're dumping out the can. Reach back behind you. There we go. Get into the front, pinky rotates across the body. Again, got some tension through this arm now. There we go. Biceps scrapes across the cheek and the ear. At the top, starting to rotate like we're dumping out that can. Control, reaching back behind you, reaching back. There we go. Good work here. Shake it out. Nice work. Maybe a good time for a drink. Okay, we're a little over halfway through. Maybe take a break, maybe take a couple breathers if you like. Otherwise, we're gonna start to up the intensity a little bit. Okay, we're gonna come through some different variations of the plank and even get moving with it. If you need to, stick with the first exercise that we work on. No need to progress if we have trouble controlling just the beginning ones and just stabilizing and getting our core active. Super important is that we're using this area, not just that we're getting into a certain position or achieving the pose, but rather using this area and have body awareness and body control of how we're doing the different movements. Okay, so I'm gonna start out here, gonna be on our elbows, okay? You're gonna just come into a regular, or a 8-point plank it's called. So the knees are gonna stay on the ground, just gonna pick our hips off the ground slowly, okay? Wanna make sure now that your low back isn't overarched, like so. And also wanna make sure that your hips aren't too high off the ground. Rather finding that spot, kind of neutral spine. So just a slight curve in your low back. Okay, from here, just gonna hold this position and breathe. Tuck in here so you can see a little bit better, okay? And just gonna hold this position and work on some of that breathing. Can we engage our belly and our core while breathing? Again, knees stay on the ground, elbows press into the ground, hips just maybe 4 to 6 inches from the ground. If there's any pressure in your low back, try to tighten the belly, maybe squeeze the glutes a little bit. even maybe flattening out that low back if we can. Okay, we got about 10 more seconds here. Keep breathing now. Keep breathing, nice and easy. Good work, you guys. Got about 10 more minutes of work today. One more breath in. There we go. Okay, from here, we're gonna roll over onto your back. It's got a little circuit here, kind of. You're gonna go through some bridge variations, okay? So from here, feet find the ground. Okay, if we have to adjust, sometimes it helps to move feet forward or come closer. The goal though is to get the glutes rocking as we come up into a bridge. Okay, so we're gonna press the feet into the ground. Notice that we're really driving the heels into the ground. That's where we're getting a lot of the power and also start to get the glutes to turn on. Okay, so we're gonna drive the hips up in the air, really press those heels in. I don't want your feet, your toes off the ground, but I want you to have maybe 70, 80% of that power coming from the heels. Really put your mind's eye to the glute now and let's squeeze and hold there. Okay, you're gonna spend some time just really trying to get those glutes active, making sure we're not overarching the low back here, but getting the hips as high as we can control to get those glutes to fire. Sometimes if we come up too high, it might force other areas to work. Again, holding here, breathing, okay? Take breaks as you need. If this is new for you or you're not trying to push your intensity too much this morning, maybe hold for 5 to 10 seconds, feel those glutes lock in, and then control down to the ground. Okay, if you're ready for a little bit more intensity, we're gonna anchor one of our sides. I'm gonna choose my left leg, really feel the weight shift into that left side. Hips shouldn't move a whole lot, but rather just feeling that weight really anchor on that left side. From here, right leg's gonna lift to the ceiling. Okay, if this is too much, we can go out like this, maybe even bend the knee if we need. Okay, but trying to get that leg up to the ceiling, keeping the hips where they were. That left glute should be rocking. Okay, from here, we go through reps. So we're gonna touch down with the hips, then we're gonna drive the hips up. Again, not overarching your low back, but feeling that heel connecting to the glute as we drive up. Okay, at the top, we're gonna hold for a good 2 to 3 count once you feel that glute engage, and then control down. So take your time with this. And it's not about going fast, it's about feeling that glute lock in, controlling, owning that movement for a second or two, and then controlling down. Driving up, squeeze, control down. Get no back pain with this. If you're all in the hamstring or all in the quad, maybe you hold on to the rep a little bit longer to try to find that glute. And you can shift your foot a little bit, maybe even rotate the foot outward a little bit if needed. Doing what it takes to get into the glute for you. Again, everybody's a little bit different. Sometimes we need that right cue for us. Keep breathing here. Got 2 more reps on this side coming. Driving up, squeeze, control down. Got 1 more coming here. From here, we'll switch sides. So you can just go ahead and put that right leg on the ground. Again, finding your time to get into that right leg, really anchoring there, finding that right glute now. You're gonna lift that left leg up, and squeezing, finding that stable pelvis here, coming into reps now. Again, if we're on 2-legged, work on just driving up, hips into the sky, getting those glutes active. Not overdoing it, but trying to find a balance through the lower body. Sometimes people are more quad dominant, meaning the front part of your legs, or maybe they get all into the hamstrings, okay? Each of us might lean to one of those sides, but really trying to find the glutes regardless of where we're at. There we go. Squeeze the glutes, drive the hip up to the ceiling, under control here. This is a super good one to kind of open the front of the hips, counteract a lot of sitting. Naturally, maybe we're sitting a little bit more, either working at home or just being a little bit more sedentary without as much options for us to get active. Good to really open that up and counterbalance that. You know, mobility isn't just about stretching and having, flexible tissues, but rather being able to own movement and have control, okay? We're focusing on the glute, but at the same time, we're really opening up the front of the hip and counteracting a lot of the motion that sitting does to us. We got 2 more here now. Again, locking up, feeling that glute squeeze for a good 2 count, and controlling down. There we go, okay? Good work, you guys. Gonna come up, we're just gonna go through some squats now. So pretty simple, okay? When we squat, a lot of different depths we can achieve. Again, you gotta see what your goal is. Maybe we're just trying to get the legs a little bit active and test ourselves, feel our body out this morning. Or maybe we're trying to make this a little bit more of an aggressive workout. Okay, we can grab a kettlebell if you'd like, otherwise it'll be body weight. Find the width that works for you. I like to go just wider than hip width and feet maybe rotate it out. Not rotate it out too far, but again, finding what works for you. Okay, coming down, just finding a good squat. Then we're gonna drive up. So very similar to what we just talked about in that the heels connect to the glutes. That's what we're going for with this as well. Okay, finding those glute muscles, not letting the feet or the heels lift off the ground, rather finding that power in the heels, okay, keeping the core a little bit active. From here, finding the depth that works for you. Maybe we're getting closer to the ground, okay? Maybe we're just getting a partial squat here. I don't care wherever we're at, making sure that our first motion is hips coming back, okay? Super important that as we squat, we don't just bend into the toes right away. Rather sinking the hips back, driving up, okay? You go through this circuit, the last couple exercises here once more. This is set number 1. And finding the reps that work for you. Also exploring your hips a little bit today. Super important that we keep this squat pattern as we age, but also just keep it familiar to our body and to our brain. As we often get away from this, it's really easy just to bend over and pick something up like that versus actually sinking the hips versus getting into our leg muscles. Okay, your body naturally wants to conserve calories. So what does that mean for our joints? Well, usually a little bit more stress on our joints and less on our muscles, less of that activity, less energy spent, but overall over the long term of our life, that degrades our joints and puts a toll on those. We get one more squat here. There we go. We shake it out if you need, okay? When we're ready, gonna make our way down to the plank. Again, good time to take a little breather, maybe grab some water if needed. Otherwise, gonna go through this set once more, okay? Starting with that plank. So again, knees stay on the ground. If you'd like more difficulty, slide the elbows forward. If that was too challenging, bring the elbows in. You're gonna try to be a couple inches in front of the shoulders with the elbows on this set. Again, knees stay on the ground. Slowly gonna pick the hips up off the ground here. Just gonna hold here and breathe now. See if you can expand the belly and expanding the rib cage here, the lower rib cage as we inhale. And shoulders away from the ears, not shrugging too much. Okay, making sure that we find that neutral spine position. Neutral for you at least, okay? Maybe you have a partner check you out, see, hey, how's my spine? Am I a lot more rounded than I thought? It's good to have a mirror, sometimes have somebody check in with you. Keep controlling here. Good breathing. Got about 10 more seconds here. One more deep breath. Exhale, relax. We're gonna come into our bridges now, okay? And rolling over, feet find the ground. If we're going with our single leg, we'll start with that right away, okay? So I'm going left leg anchor on the ground, right leg up, okay? Driving hips up to the sky, again, putting the mind's eye of the glute. That's our focus here. Hold for maybe a little bit longer on these sets. Hold for about a 4 count. Really lock it in, stabilize, and control down. Driving up, squeeze, there we go. Breathe, breathe, and control again. Taking breaks as you need. Otherwise, we're gonna get those glutes rocking this set. Keep breathing now. Maybe you intensify that breath a little bit as we up our intensity here. Again, not overdoing it. You're feeling it in your back. We're trying a little bit too high or hard to lift the hips high. Getting as high as we can, but again, I want to stay in that glute. There we go. Got 3 more reps like this on this side. Driving up. Keep breathing here. There we go. Down. 2 more here. There we go. Keep breathing, guys. Last set here. There we go. We'll come down. Gonna switch sides. So again, anchor that leg in the ground. Feel that heel really driving the ground even before you lift. Okay. Opposite leg up towards the ceiling or out. Finding the version that works best for us. Can also be here. Okay. Getting ready to drive our hips upwards. Squeeze again. Really find that glute, especially the first rep. If you're not feeling the glute, Take your time and hold, or maybe we got to go to the two-legged. Make it a little bit easier to get into the glutes here. There we go. Keep working here, guys. Again, going for a little bit longer this set if we can, maybe a 4 count once we get that glute to squeeze. Go. And keeping that balance through the foot, really tuning into where our foot presses into the ground. There we go. Keep breathing. Good work. Nice job taking some time for yourself this morning or today, wherever you're at. Maybe starting the weekend out, some good momentum, getting those muscles going, getting some breath going, practicing a little bit of mindfulness. Essentially, as we focus in on how we're moving our body, that can be a mindfulness practice. Whether you want to call it that or not, we are practicing our awareness and body control, and that's all very effective to help our mind out as well. There we go. We're working on 2 more reps here now. Really focus in, lock that glute in. Here we go. Last rep here. There we go. Controlling down. Gonna make our way up. Last set. Finding our squats here. Okay. Again, knees stay wide, not overdoing it. But again, we want to make sure we are avoiding collapsing inwards here. As we come down to the squat, shifting the hips back. Okay, hips shift back, finding your heels, driving up. First couple reps, gonna stay at the same intensity as we did last set. Just kind of grooving a couple reps, feeling the squat motion, and arms reach forward. That can kind of help counterbalance you here. Really trying to press into those feet. Tightening the belly a little bit as well. Keep breathing here. Okay, if you feel comfortable with this, we're gonna up the intensity now, or up the speed on this one. Okay, so it's gonna be down, up. Got about 30 seconds here. Gonna work it. There we go. Gonna get a little leg burn this morning. Keep driving. Same mechanics though, pressing into the heel, keeping belly tight. There we go, about 15 seconds. There we go, 5. There we go, maybe I jump the last couple. There we go, last rep. There we are. Shake it out if you need, grab a drink if you need. I'm gonna encourage you to take a couple moments just relaxing, either on the ground seated, or maybe you lie back, just let your body lay, okay? You take a couple moments just to kind of tune the mind a little bit, take a moment of appreciation for the work we just put in, and also just get our mind ready to take on whatever challenges we might be facing today. Again, we never know what sort of challenges are gonna come our way. See, sometimes we know, a lot of times life catches us, you know, and if we can prepare and build some psychological resiliency, being proactive, we're a lot more likely to navigate life in healthy means, okay? So you can take a moment, you can close your eyes. If you like, just watching your breath, noticing maybe heart rate's up a little bit after the last couple exercises. Let's breathe in through the nose, exhale through the nose or mouth, just kind of settling into the exhale, letting all that air out. And breathing in through the nose, exhale, let all that air out. As we inhale now, trying to keep the shoulders, the neck nice and relaxed. And coming back to that belly, breathing, just nice and easy, expanding through your lower rib cage, expanding through your belly, settling into a full exhale then. See if we can lengthen that exhale a little bit longer than our inhale. What that does is brings awareness to aspects of our parasympathetic nervous system, you know, that system that counteracts a lot of that fight or flight or that stress response. This is a technique we can come to anytime, breathing in through the nose, expanding through the belly, and exhaling a little bit longer than we inhale, really settling into that full exhale. Not doing this to cause panic or to cause any stress in our nervous system or our body, but to try to settle into that exhalation, bringing awareness to the rest and digest, the more calm states of our nervous system. I love doing this after a little bit of movement or exercise, kind of down-regulate our nervous system, but also it's a little bit easier to settle in once we've kind of challenged ourselves or got the heart rate up. Once we stress ourselves a little bit, we kind of come off the gas and feel yourself down-regulate here. Just gonna spend a couple more moments tuning into the nasal inhalation, and nice and easy, full exhalation. As you feel your breath rate start to slow, maybe those breaths start to become a little bit more even on the inhale and the exhale. Still trying to keep that respiratory rate steady, just nice and naturally rhythmic here. If you're breathing right now and there's a beating heart in your chest, there's a lot more right with you than wrong with you. I encourage you to try to adopt that mindset, maybe throughout the day, maybe if we're feeling stressed or we're feeling any sort of negative or unproductive thought patterns coming along. That's an awesome perspective to try to practice. A little easier said than done, not just like a light switch, but something we can work towards. Appreciating just the ability to breathe. Just have another day here. Taking these last couple moments here together, letting that breath stay nice and natural now, not forcing any sort of pattern. Hopefully using the belly a little bit, but really just watching our breath flow naturally. Just letting ourselves be just as we are, not trying to be anything other or trying to be somewhere right now or live up to any sort of expectation, rather just accepting ourselves just as we are right now. No judgment on how we did or what we found with our movement practice, but just gratitude for trying, for taking the time today to work on ourselves and maybe try some new things. Okay, maybe challenge our focus, challenge our ability to pay attention. It's a little bit more difficult through a screen, through being a little more distant, but at the same time, there's a lot we can connect with, a lot of positivity within you. Taking a couple moments to feel this here. Almost as though we're the witness to our mind and towards our experiences here. Becoming that neutral witness. Taking a couple more natural breaths. Maybe a little bit deeper now in these last couple. If you'd like to sit here and continue this exercise or your own sort of mindfulness or meditation or any sort of personal practice, feel free to sink right into that. About to finish up our portion together here. And maybe you carry on your day with another exercise here, or maybe this was it. This is your movement for the day. That's more intentional, kind of getting your body ready. Regardless of where you're going next, awesome job is taking the time to work on yourself. You know, a lot of this stuff can be kind of dry sometimes, but again, it's investing in ourselves to be able to do the movement that we like, whatever that is through our life. You know, our body is really a means to bring our brain to exciting opportunities. And if we don't take care of it, you know, we lose those opportunities through our life. Super important that we stay proactive and invest in ourselves a little bit through things like this. Awesome job. Thanks for joining. Feel free to like or subscribe. That obviously helps out, or share this with your friends and family, somebody that might need it or just might need a little bit of spark to start some healthy habits. Again, as we do one healthy choice, we're a lot more likely to make another healthy choice. Hopefully this is the start to some healthy momentum, or maybe just keeping that momentum going. Either way, awesome job. Take care. Have a good weekend. Great work, everybody. We'll see you next time.